What's going on, guys? So today we'll be having another discussion about muscle dysmorphia, but since you already know what it is from my last post, we'll be talking about what fuels it and the causes of it. I went over this a little bit in my last video, but we'll be going more in depth in this one. In this next video, I'll be interviewing my sister to see the positive and negative effects that she sees in bodybuilding today, as well as to see why we set these unreachable goals that we do set. So Amber, how long have you been going to the gym?
I've been going to the gym, not religiously, for about 8 years.
What positives come out of bodybuilding?
I'd say you have an increase of self-confidence, obviously a better physical appearance, usually probably a good diet.
What negatives come out of bodybuilding?
I would like to say a lot of unrealistic expectations, maybe some bad diets, and it may cause you to do or use some supplements that aren't great for your body.
Have you ever heard of muscle dysmorphia?
I've heard of the term. I do not know what it means.
Okay, so pretty much it's the opposite of anorexia. So like another name for it's bigorexia, so hence the term. And pretty much the way someone with anorexia can look in the mirror and say they're fat despite being rather skinny, someone with muscle dysmorphia can look in the mirror and say they're very skinny being rather huge. So what do you think drives this psychological disorder?
I want to say probably the main driving for this disorder would be social media these days. Because you can constantly compare yourself to other people out there, and you're never going to finally meet that.
Okay, so why do you think we compare ourselves to famous bodybuilders such as David Lade and Stephen Cow when we know we won't reach these goals without the use of illegal supplements or crazy genetics?
I mean, I feel like that starts when you're little. Like, everyone has someone to look up to, and if you don't, then you're just kind of aimlessly doing something. If you have an idol, at least you have a goal you're trying to reach or trying to eventually get to.
So do we compare ourselves to our idols often?
I'd say every day and probably multiple times a day.
I know I do. Do you think this disorder will go away?
I don't think it'll go away, especially since social media is becoming bigger and bigger, especially with the younger generations. But I do think that we need to realize that some of these people we can't look like without using substances that are very harmful for our bodies.
Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
In this next video, Scott Griffiths, who's a therapist and deals with patients with muscle dysmorphia, will be discussing the impact that social media has on males.
Well, boys, just like girls, are influenced by the bodies they are exposed to. Behind me, you see action figurines of Luke Skywalker and Han Solo from the original release of the Star Wars trilogy. And on the right, you see the re-release. They've adopted that classic bodybuilder pose of big arms and broad shoulders and a muscular chest. And this is an analog to the Barbie dolls that are widely recognized and criticized, marketed to young girls.
There was a study done in 2002 that showed that social media and images in the media will change how men think about their own bodies. In this experiment, college students were split into two groups. One group was given a normal advertisement and the other was given advertisements showing muscular men, such as these examples. They were then asked numerous questions. The conclusion of this showed that media images do change the way men view themselves. There was a similar study done in 2007. They went through the same process and concluded that men viewing the muscular advertisements had lower self-esteem than the ones viewing the neutral ones. This is because men immediately compare themselves to the image that they're looking at. If they're not as muscular as the person they're looking at, they immediately wish they were as muscular. This takes a toll on a man's self-esteem and can really affect someone over time. So Pops, since you already know what muscle dysmorphia is, what do you think causes it?
People want more out of life. They see something big and shiny, they want to be bigger and shinier.
So do you think it's caused by unrealistic goals that natural bodybuilders set?
Yes, because I mean, you look at a lot of these competitions. These guys are humongous, and there's no way they can get that big. And then you look at them 5 years after the competition. Yeah, they're definitely unrealistic goals.
Just turns the chub.
Absolutely, and they get whittled away to nothing.
So do you think social media and the pictures that bodybuilders such as like Phil Heath post on Instagram like play a role in this disorder?
Yes, they do, because they right in front of them they can see, oh, this is what I want to look like, or I want to look just like him, except I want to be a little bit bigger. So yes.
So my last question, do you think that if we knew the natural bodybuilders from the unnatural ones, this disorder would decrease?
To a small degree, but you always have people that they want more. Don't matter how big, they want to be bigger.
Social media has its pros and cons when it comes to bodybuilding. It can motivate people to go to the gym and transform their bodies, but it can also go beyond that. It can set unreachable standards that are impossible to achieve naturally. Not everyone has the genetics to have super broad shoulders or shredded obliques. I can relate to people with muscle dysmorphia on a personal level. I often compare myself to people on social media, and it does put a damper on my self-esteem sometimes. On the bright side, it also motivates you to constantly work out and strive to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Thanks for watching, guys.